Hello and welcome.
Hi.
This is one of our post-trip chats, of which there will be a few. And the first one we're going to start off with is probably going to be the shorter one.
Yeah.
And it's going to be just talking about the resort that we stayed in on our trip, because it was our first time staying on property, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
So it was...
Port Orleans, Riverside.
That's right, so that's the larger of the two Port Orleans resorts. It's a nice location because you get good access to Disney Springs, and you can get there via boat or bus.
It's nice on the boat.
It is, yeah. And buses, you're very close to Epcot and not too far away from Magic Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom, we're close to it.
No, we were quite far from that. Everything's quite far from there apart from Animal Kingdom Lodge. Yeah, you're pretty close to Epcot and also quite close to some of the service roads, so be careful of that if you're driving around. So it was pretty good actually, wasn't it, that when we were on the bus?
Yeah, when we were on the Magical Express coming from the airport, I got an email telling us what room we were in. I'd already pre-checked in on my Disney experience, so the only reason we had to go to reception was to pick up our magic bands, because they don't ship them to the UK.
No. So if you were in the US, you would already have your magic bands. You wouldn't even have to go and check in the lobby.
No.
We booked a standard room, and we had a slight upgrade to ending up with a pool view room. Yeah. A lot of the rooms overlook car parks over the back of the rooms, but actually there tends to be grassy areas, trees, and then car parks, so it's not too bad at all, is it? We should probably caveat quite a lot what we're saying as far as like the room condition and that, in that they are currently in the process of renovating a lot of the rooms there, so they'll be putting in wooden floors and new power sockets and hopefully new coffee makers. We'll get onto that. So when I do intersperse bits of this video with clips of our room tour and some of the resort areas, some of that will be out of date, and going forward it will be anyway.
Yeah.
So the lobby area and everything was really nice, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really nice. Nice big shop.
Yeah.
And you could get like groceries there, like milk.
It wasn't overly cheap for groceries,
no,
so do plan to maybe look at getting an Uber or have a car.
Yeah, take your own. But if it was an emergency, they had everything you would need for an emergency. So headache tablets, alcohol. Everyone needs emergency alcohol, milk. There was even dog food, because the resort is one of the ones that you could take your dogs to, so you could get dog food in the shop. And then there was your entertainment desk, your reception area, and then your food court and restaurants were in the main building as well. Yeah,
and there was a video game arcade there, wasn't there, which we used on the last day. Some of the games were a little bit battered and worn, but quite a lot of them were perfectly fine.
Yeah. It wasn't too expensive either, actually, was it?
It's a big resort, but everywhere is pretty much walking distance from the lobby area.
Yeah.
I think where we were was a pretty ideal place in that it was a good 5-10 minute walk, but it was manageable. Some of the ones a bit further south, I think, to when you're getting towards where Port Orleans French Quarter is, I imagine
like the alligator bayou bit.
Well, one thing to mention with regards to walking is you're not having to do that walk every day to get back to the buses and things like that, because there are 4 bus stops, I think, around the entire resort. So the bus does a loop around the resort, back to the lobby and out, depending on how busy it is. I think sometimes it goes past the lobby, I'm not sure, but you can check the bus routes on that. It does vary dependent on time of day and route that you're taking. So I suppose we go on to... We didn't really use the main pool area.
No, we had a small quieter pool literally right next to our apartment. So.
Which we used once, and it was nice, wasn't it? Yeah. And then we have our room. As I said, I think we were about a 5-10 minute walk from the main resort. Yeah, you
literally just came out of our building, across a little bridge and round the family pool.
Yeah, and if you're interested, it was in the Magnolia
Bend
area. That was it. I knew you'd remember that. The groundskeeping was spectacular. The gardens and everything, just absolutely beautiful. The resort is really lovely to walk around.
Yeah, it's a very, very pretty resort.
Yeah, the ambient music in the background is really nice and everything. Our room, so...
It was a big room.
It was a big room. It was a very nice room, actually, for the most part. It was. We had.
You got your. We had a small safe.
Yeah.
Iron board, hairdryer.
Yes, 2 double beds, isn't it?
2 double beds, like your usual American room.
Yeah, a nice little area to sit.
And it was themed more New Orleans. Yes. There was no Disney theme in
yeah, it was the room wasn't in your face Disney like some of the rooms you might see, which we actually quite liked.
There were some hidden Mickeys.
Yes, there were hidden Mickeys.
Hidden Muckies.
Hidden Muckies. It was very subtly themed. Yeah. But for us, I think that was ideal. It was
Princess
really
and the Frog, subtle themed.
So as far as the room was concerned, I had no problems. It did look a little bit tired. Things like the carpet and some of the furniture was a little scuffed in places, but that's
going under reservation.
Yeah, and it is sort of a lot of that was at the end of
reservation. Going under renovation. So they were obviously addressing that already.
Yeah.
The coffee machine was horrible. Yes. The coffee was disgusting in the room.
No, it was. I at one point it was like, this coffee doesn't taste right, so I started trying to clear it out, and I realised there was just utter filth in it.
Yeah.
So we didn't use it again after that.
And okay, you have the resort mug to go, but when you're a 5-10 minute walk from the main centre to go and get a hot drink, and we didn't have the best weather, so some days it was absolutely lashing it down. So doing that walk just to get a hot drink, you would be soaking wet by the time you got back. So a better coffee machine in the room would have been better, and the maid to actually leave us some coffee would be nice as well, so that we could make coffee.
We'll get on to housekeeping in a minute because that's one of our bugbears.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the coffee machines is something that they're addressing.
The new rooms are getting the pod coffee machine, the posh pod coffee machine, so they are already addressing the thing that annoyed me because I'm the coffee drinker.
As far as the bathroom areas, impeccably kept, very clean.
Yeah.
We found that about halfway through our trip, the shower keeping, whatever they call it, maintenance teams came in and replaced the single individual use shower gels and shampoos with the wall mounted unit. I thought that was very weird. They should have either done that at the beginning of the stay or at the end of it, but not while you're in there. I didn't think that was particularly appropriate.
No, like coming and drilling in your room and you're coming back to it. They cleaned everything.
Everything was clean. You wouldn't have thought.
No mess whatsoever, but you think they would have done it when we left.
Yeah. I mean,
for the next people
that's likely going to not be an issue going forward because that'll be done everywhere I'll have it. We did manage to pinch a few of the individual sachets.
They left us loads, didn't they?
Yeah.
I said to say sorry for doing this to you halfway through your trip.
I know, it's one thing I did notice is when they put the new pumps in brand new, the conditioner barely ever worked. You got it working maybe twice or something.
Yeah, I think it just needed a good pump.
Yeah, with it being all new and stuff.
Yeah.
As far as location, the room was lovely. We overlooked the quiet pool, and it was very quiet 95% of the stay.
Yeah.
On the second night, we had what the reception referred to as a college group in the resort, and they decided that 3 AM would be the ideal time for a pool party.
Yeah.
Now, Disney say nothing in the pool between, I think it's
10 PM.
Outside of there was 9 AM till 10 PM, possibly 11 PM. But the reception manager admitted that they don't actually enforce those rules unless they have problems. So we were walking up, I was walking up on and off between sort of 1 and 3, and eventually I phoned into reception and said, can you send someone over to address this issue?
They were bringing like crates of beer.
Yeah, we could hear them.
More and more people were turning up. It wasn't just like 1 or 2 people. I think there ended up being like 15 people there.
And we had to phone back again because no one actually came.
Yeah.
And it was only the second time, and I'm talking about 20-30 minutes later, that they actually started to dissipate the party. And you could hear the teenagers complaining, saying they were on holiday and should have the right to play in the pool at 3 AM in the morning. It's like, no, we're on holiday, we want to sleep at 3 AM in the morning. If you want to play about in a pool, go and get a villa somewhere out in the sticks.
And see what you want,
So that wasn't, that was just, but fortunately, at the time we were furious, really upset about it, but it was a one-off thing, and then after that we had no problems with that pool whatsoever. But it is just one thing you do need to bear in mind. If you're near one of the pools, there is a possibility you'll get some noise at night.
I think it just been 1 or 2 people having a chat, and I assume we wouldn't have even heard them.
But I think that sort of pointed out one of our bugbears there. So I'm going to compare a few times here with Rosen. We stay in Rosen all the other times, and Rosen is considered a budget hotel.
Yeah. They lock the pool, you can't get in.
The pools are closed at night.
Yeah.
And also we had some noise at a Rosen hotel about 5 years ago now. We phoned reception and within 5 minutes they were gone. reception was like, none of that. Security straight down. It took Disney half an hour to do the same thing.
It was over an hour.
Yeah. It was.
Because we waited half an hour till we phoned back again.
Yeah. So we did complain about that, and all the manager did was give us his phone number for the evening shift to say
you can move rooms if you want.
Yeah, and he did say you can move rooms if you want, but we didn't feel that we wanted to.
Didn't see the point.
No, it was our holiday. We quite liked the room other than that.
It's a good location.
Yeah. So I suppose the next thing is housekeeping. This is where we had a few grumbles as well.
Yeah. All housekeeping seemed to do was make the beds. They come in, they make the beds, and that was it.
Yeah.
The room was dusty. Like, you could run your finger through dust like along, because there's quite a big headboard on the beds with like a picture in the middle of it, and all along the top of the headboard was dusty. The fans that are rotating in the room were dusty. The shelf in the room was dusty. They didn't leave us coffee, they didn't leave us toilet roll, which, okay, you just phone down to reception to ask for it, but if housekeeping's coming in every day, you shouldn't have to ask for things like that. That's just basic.
And I think had we not realised that dust on the shelf was there on the last day, we would have probably phoned down and complained about that as well. I mean, you look at our house is covered in stuff, but when I'm on holiday,
it's not dusty though.
Like, there's housekeeping supposed to look after some of those things. That's their job, that's what they're paid to do. And we tipped every day. We always tip every day with housekeeping.
And I left them I've made little notes and everything to leave for them.
And if we can be really grumbly, it was our 10th wedding anniversary, and not one time did we get a Mickey Mouse head.
No.
Towels.
All I wanted was a towel shaped like Mickey Mouse. And
we don't want freebies.
Even the day we left all our anniversary cards out on the table because it was our actual anniversary while we were there. No, not a towel shaped like a Mickey Mouse.
It just, I mean, going back to Rosen again, we've had brilliant experiences with Rosen housekeeping staff. Super friendly. If they see that you're using coffee, they'll leave you extra coffee.
Yeah.
We just didn't seem to get that, and I think it's possibly just specifically one person who looks after that block. But
that you could actually you can choose to opt out of mousekeeping, as they call it. So you would think that the people who didn't opt out, they would be grateful for, because they're not going to get tips off everyone anymore, because all the rooms that have opted out can still phone down and get the towels and the toilet sheets, but don't have to leave tips for the housekeepers. So you think they would pay extra attention to the ones who kept the housekeeping.
It just felt like that had we been given the option to opt out, or had we asked for it, we wouldn't have seen any difference in the service that we received. No. It just didn't.
Some would have just made our beds.
So I mean, it was disappointing considering the premium you pay to stay on a Disney resort. And ultimately we can say, oh, they should look, this particular individual or whatever should look after us. That's on Disney. Disney should be making sure that all their rooms are maintained to a high standard, and in this case I didn't feel that they were doing that at all.
The grounds you couldn't complain about the grounds.
No, not at all.
I didn't feel the housekeeping was that good.
And one thing I did notice, and you might notice this from a few of our vlogs as well, is our room location was right next to quite a lot of air conditioning units, so you couldn't like wander around and peacefully in the room, because all you could do was outside. When we were in the room it was fine, but outside it was quite loud. But we're doing a lot of complaining here. But I suppose the ultimate thing is, would we stay in Disney again?
Well, we are.
We are, yeah.
Again. Not in the place that we wanted to stay.
No,
we wanted to stay at French Quarter, and we've been moved to Coronado Springs, which is under construction at the moment, but will be finished by the time we get there. All the rooms have been renovated, so they've got the wooden floors, they've got the new coffee machines. From what I can see, their housekeeping and staff are amazing at that resort. So yeah, it should be nice when we come back to this in 12 months' time. To do a comparison. Okay, maybe 18 months' time. We'll do a comparison and see what we think of Coronado Springs compared to Port Orleans Riverside. Did it put us off staying at Riverside? No, I would definitely stay there again. It didn't put me off, because the resort itself was nice. I like the location. I like that you could get to Disney Springs on the boat. I wish there was more places that you could fill your resort mug.
Yes.
To me it seems really stupid that you've got
at least in the pool areas there should be more drinks machines or whatever.
I think every building should have a drinks machine. So
they'd probably grumble it's difficult to police, but that's the kind of an expense you should be taking the hit on for the amount you're charging for the rooms, in my opinion.
I don't understand why it's just at the main building, because some people are far away from it. So if you're paying, I mean, okay, you get your drinks cut free. Well, you don't, because it's included in the price of your holiday, so you have paid for it.
Yeah.
But it seems daft that you could wake up at whatever o'clock in the morning and you can't get a drink.
No, you got what?
Because it's shuts. Or if you're coming back late from the park and you want a drink and you can't get one.
And you could say that, well, you could take a drink back with you at the end of the night. But to be honest with you, between picking my drink up and getting back to my room, I'll have drunk what's in that cup because there's not a lot in there. You
were getting back to the resort after the place had shut, so you couldn't fill it up anyway.
Yeah, it didn't. But we should probably cover food actually as well. On site at Port Orleans Riverside, you have a quick serve canteen area
with the Riverside Grill
service, which was very good. We had food in there once. We actually had food in there when we visited. No complaints. The food was nice. Timing wise, it's a big resort. If you get there at peak times, you're going to struggle to get seating and things like that. It's going to be very, very busy. So we did actually try to get breakfast in there one time. We just didn't because it was so busy. It was
absolutely rammed, wasn't it?
And then the other food you have there is the Boatwright's dining hall. We hadn't heard great things about it, had we?
No.
But we booked in it anyway for our first full night. And I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, my meal was lovely.
We will do a full cover of all the restaurants that we ate at. But yeah, while this one's at Port Orleans, we can cover it now. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with it. The staff were absolutely lovely.
Yeah, they were very nice.
As far as bars, we tried the hotel bar.
Yeah.
Which was okay. It was nothing to write home about.
No, it just felt like a pub at home.
Yeah.
That bar, yeah.
Yeah, it was a little bit tired looking in places.
Yeah, but everything's getting, I think even that is getting renovated as well. So.
Yeah. And the other bar we didn't try was the pool bar, which I hear very good things about.
We kept saying, we'll call in there on the way back, but we just timed it wrong, so it was closed.
Mm-hmm. So what else is the cover?
What else is there to cover?
Yeah.
Little extras you could do at our resort. You could hire a Surrey bike.
Yes, that's right. You could do the horse and cart ride.
And you could do the horse and cart ride, yeah. So every evening a horse and cart would appear
magically.
By the main reception building, and you could go on a ride around, and it could go down to Port French Quarter and stuff like that. And it was very nice. And then we noticed the nights that there was really bad weather, that they would take them round to the front of the hotel so that they were under shelter, so they looked after them really well.
And also, if you're in the right time and it will get busy, Yeehaw Bob plays in the bar that we actually drank in. We weren't there when he played.
No.
It looks
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, and he looks really entertaining, but possibly not our type of thing, so we didn't go and see him.
No.
They do campfire marshmallow toasting, and there's play areas for children to play in.
And hammocks everywhere, lounge on.
So again, the grounds, you cannot fault the grounds. Absolutely lovely resort.
Yeah.
Previously mentioned transportation on the buses, very easy to all parts. We did have a couple of times where we had to wait long, but I think
we didn't tend to wait at our resort.
No, it was coming
back from a part. Like Epcot was the worst one.
Yeah.
To get a bus back from, because you'd be stood there and it'd be like French Quarter. Yeah. So if it wasn't raining, you could get the bus to French Quarter and then just walk through. It was about a 15-minute walk. But when it's absolutely lashing down, you don't want to do that.
That's true. No.
You don't want to do that. You want to get off, because there was a bus stop right by where our room was. So why would you do a 15-minute walk in the rain if you didn't need to? We did it once because we wanted beignets. We did actually do it once in the rain.
Yeah, it's definitely worth, if you're staying at Port Orleans Riverside. One thing we would definitely recommend is going to French Quarter to try beignets.
Yeah.
And boozy beignets if you like them as well.
Oh yeah, and now the Mickey shaped as well.
And the Mickey shaped as well. Yeah. Otherwise, driving, lots of car parking. We never struggled to get any spaces for car parking, and probably more so in the future.
Lost, though.
Yeah, we did get lost. I think parking's not going to be an issue in the future because of the parking fees that are being introduced. Yeah. Definitely for American guests and coming for UK guests.
For American guests, but
I think after 2019 the UK guests get it as well, don't they, for bookings. But yeah, we're not hiring a car on our next trip, I don't think, so that's not going to be an issue for us. But bear that in mind and do some checking on regards to...
Yeah, because different resorts charge different prices, whether it's a standard resort, a moderate, or a
deluxe.
A deluxe, yeah. So the more expensive your resort, the more you're going to have to pay for parking, which makes no sense. Because at the end of the day, it's car parking, so why does it cost different at different places? It doesn't make any sense.
I know. But anyway, I suppose that leaves the one question that quite a lot of people asked, and I've seen it asked, is in the future, where would you stay? Would you stay in a villa on iDrive or in Disney? We've had this quite a lot.
We have.
And
but now we've done them all.
Yeah, we have done them all now, and we are still fence sitters. I would do all three of those.
Yeah.
All three of them are very different holidays.
On what you're planning to do on your actual holiday. If you're only doing Disney, then it's nice to say on the Disney resort, no driving, book when the free dining's on. I think you don't have to worry about your food. I mean, we did not spend a penny on food.
No.
Not 1 penny on food, because you just get too much anyway. The only thing you buy is your alcohol. Because if you want
spent a penny on alcohol.
We spent more than a penny on alcohol.
Yes.
But
if you were staying on site,
you don't have to worry about driving.
So
you can have a drink and not worry about driving. You know, if we're doing, well, you'll see in January we're doing an iDrive holiday, so that's a completely different holiday to Disney because we're not doing any Disney.
Nope. But I mean, if you obviously there's an expense tied with staying on site on our property, so I can absolutely understand why people would choose to stay on International Drive, and we would do the same again because great base for a holiday.
Yeah.
Rose and Hin holidays hotels are cheap and very, very good for the money you pay for them.
Yeah, they are, and they're in great locations.
And then the final option there is we've not done this for a while since 2016, but staying in a villa, which was our first shot at that.
Yeah.
And we do that again. The only difference there being you got to plan around who's driving in the evening if you do want to go have a beer somewhere.
The only downside to the villa is there's nowhere to walk to get anything. So every time you need something or you forget something, you've got to get in a car and drive somewhere. So, but it is nice to have places to sit. It's nice to have your own pool. But I think I prefer, if I'm not doing Disney, staying on iDrive.
Yeah.
With all the access to the bars and restaurants within walking distance.
But I can absolutely see if you're a larger family,
having
you've
got
your
young
own
kids
space
and you want your own rooms,
is going to be brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah. But for us too, it makes no difference. So.
Yeah. Okay, so that is our review of Port Orleans Riverside. On the whole, it was a good resort with a few shortcomings that I think at the time we were upset about them. You look like I've just sort of reminded you of it all and you're furious again now.
No, I think it was because, it was a special trip.
Yeah.
It was our first time staying on Disney property. Some aspects didn't quite live up to the expectation. Mainly the no Mickey shaped towels left in your room.
Curious!
I actually am really upset about that. And it seems like a pathetic little thing, but everyone always puts up these pictures of how the maids have put the towels in shapes, and we didn't get any of that.
No.
And that actually really annoyed me. So that's my one downfall for Riverside,
yeah. And my one downfall was the noise by the pool at the night.
Yeah, but
that was my ultimate.
It wasn't the noise by the pool, it was the fact that it took them so long to deal with it.
Yeah.
That's what was annoying, not the noise by the pool, because that can happen anywhere. It's how long things take to get sorted. But and the fact that they didn't seem to care.
No, that was true.
Yeah.
I would be interested in your thoughts, see if you had any issues along these lines. So you pop a comment down below and let us know how you got on with Port Orleans Riverside, and please let other people who are watching us know that what we had is probably out of the ordinary, and it's not like that all the time. And it certainly wouldn't cause me to review it negative. It's just things that I think you need to be aware of, because from our channel's point of view, we aren't going to paint it all as sunshine and rainbows if we had issues, and we had a couple of issues.
We had a couple of issues, yeah.
Anyway, thank you for watching. There will be more post-trip chats coming soon. See you soon, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.